So, you've seen the tentacles, right? You've probably even seen the cute little plush toys. But the real horror of Cthulhu, it's not the monster. It's the absolutely terrifying idea it represents about our place in the universe. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on reality itself. Think about it. We go through our lives assuming some basic rules. The sun comes up, gravity keeps our feet on the ground, and what we do, well, it matters. We build our entire world on this foundation of reason and order, feeling pretty secure that we know how things work. It's kind of comforting, isn't it?
But what if that feeling of certainty is just an illusion? What if it's just a paper-thin shield protecting us from a truth so huge, so alien, that just knowing it would completely shatter our minds? That's the terrifying rabbit hole we're about to dive down.
All right. To really understand this kind of horror, we first have to get a good look at the normal, everyday reality it's trying to obliterate. So let's start by peeling back that first layer.
This contrast right here, this is the absolute core of cosmic horror. See, on one side, you've got the world we think we know, a place that makes sense, where humans are important. But just on the other side of that veil, there's a whole other reality, one that runs on pure chaos. And in that reality, we are completely, totally insignificant. The Cthulhu mythos is basically saying our world is just a thin, fragile sheet of ice stretched over a bottomless, chaotic ocean.
Now, this terrifying universe, this whole framework, built on the idea that our reality is basically a lie, well, it has a name. It's known as the Cthulhu mythos.
So, what is the Cthulhu mythos exactly? It's a fictional universe with one simple, gut-wrenching premise. Humanity is just a cosmic accident, a fluke, where this insignificant little speck just drifting along, totally unaware that reality is secretly run by these ancient, godlike beings they call the Great Old Ones. They're the real landlords of a chaotic, uncaring universe that we can't even begin to wrap our heads around.
And getting even a tiny glimpse of that true reality, it isn't some enlightening experience. It's the end of everything you thought you knew. One of the texts puts it with this chilling simplicity. The end is the beginning. The sanity is gone. See, this isn't about gaining new knowledge. It's about losing your sanity.
In this universe, that old saying, knowledge is power, you can just throw that right out the window. Here, knowledge is poison. There are no heroes swooping in to save the day, because you can't win a fight against an idea. When our simple human reason smacks up against something truly incomprehensible, it doesn't bend, it just shatters. Your mind unravels, and the only things left are survival or total ruin.
So let's get to it. Let's formally meet the most famous resident of this terrifying cosmos, the High Priest himself. So who or what is Cthulhu? Well, he's the High Priest for this group of alien gods, the Old Ones. He's this ancient being that came from the stars way, way before humans were even a thing. And physically, he's a total nightmare. Imagine a grotesque mashup of an octopus, a dragon, and a twisted, sick joke of a human form, all with this rubbery, scaly skin and gigantic claws.
The original story paints a picture that just feels fundamentally wrong. It describes a monster of vaguely anthropoid outline but with an octopus-like head whose face was a mass of feelers. It forces your brain to try and put pieces together that just don't belong, creating an image that's truly deeply alien.
You know, Cthulhu's story isn't really one of conquest. It's a story of waiting. He got to Earth way before we did, and his massive city, this place called Relay, sank under the Pacific Ocean ages ago. In that famous story, The Call of Cthulhu, some sailors accidentally wake him up for a minute, but he gets sealed away again. But here's the kicker. He's not dead, not even close. He's just dreaming, waiting for the stars to align so he can come back.
Okay, but this is where we get to the real meat of it. The tentacles, the giant monster, the claws. Believe it or not, that's not actually the scary part.
No, the true terror has never, ever been the monster itself. It's the worldview-shattering realization of what that monster represents. It's what it all means.
This specific kind of fear actually has a name. It's called cosmic horror. And it's not the simple fear of, being eaten. It's that cold, sinking, existential dread that washes over you when you finally, truly realize that all of human history, all our art, all our science and achievements, it's all just a meaningless flicker in a vast, cold universe that literally does not care that we exist. It's a horror you can't fight, you can only witness it. And for any poor soul who actually comes face to face with this truth, the path is always the same. It starts with an encounter. You see something you were never meant to see. You read a forbidden text you can never unread. Then your reality just shatters. Science, logic, everything you use to make sense of the world becomes totally useless. And finally, psychic annihilation. Your mind doesn't just get scared, it breaks completely. Because it just wasn't built to handle a truth that big.
In the vast, cold math of the cosmos, humanity isn't even a rounding error. The real horror isn't just that we're small or that we're fragile. It's that to the universe, we are absolutely nothing. A zero.
So where does that leave us? Cthulhu's story isn't over. Really, it's just a nightmare that's been put on pause.
And here's the ultimate irony in all this. Cthulhu, the very symbol of how insignificant we are, has become this massive pop culture icon. His influence has seeped into everything: books, movies, music, games. He's become this constant, almost playful reminder of our own cosmic irrelevance, hiding right there in plain sight. But all that cultural noise, it's really just a distraction. It all just fades away when you remember the core, chilling truth of it, captured in that famous line, "In his house at Riley A, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming." He's not gone. He's simply waiting. And so the story never really gets an ending. It just pauses. And it leaves all of us with one final, really unsettling question to think about. What happens to our fragile, ordered little world when the stars are finally right again?